Oh god!
Oh god!
You're actually killing me! Hi.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Hey.
Hello.
Hey, girl.
Hi.
Hi, babes. Hey, babes. How you doing, babes? Welcome
It's
to
the Big Damn Cast.
Babes Damn Cast.
Babes Damn Cast.
Big Damn Babes. Big Damn Babes.
75.
Holy shit! How are we not dead?
Um,
Actually, no. Polar opposite question.
I think I might
How
be.
has this show not already died? And how does the show not already have 18 sponsors? Where's Loot Crate? Where's Blue Apron? Well, to be
Loot
fair,
Crate
those
are
are
going out of
questions
business.
people are asking in general. Yeah, well,
we don't have
well,
Blue Apron over here, we have
Loot-
HelloFresh.
Loot Crate have started a new thingy. They've started like a new thing. They're
course
sort
they
of
have.
shipping specific stuff out now to stores. People can buy like Loot Crate packs and things like that. So they're obviously finding a way to make up
Sort of-
financially as much as they can before they go under.
Sort of defeats the object of a subscription box, right?
In a way, as you know, Funko's going to go bad at some point.
Funko, I'm honestly
In our
shocked.
lifetime, it will go horribly wrong.
It's,
Our local Forbidden Planet, God bless them. If they want to sponsor the show, please fucking do.
this has got 2 shelves of Funkos. 2 solid shelves of Funkos.
2 full miles, and that's not counting the comic book specific ones downstairs. But they now give away surplus ones that don't shift in mystery boxes. Which is actually kind of a brilliant idea.
That is kind
It's
of a neat idea.
Hey, you could spend £11 on a Funko, or you can spend 20 quid and get 3 Funkos. The thing is, you just don't know what they are.
Or you
So-
can just not.
Yeah, I think it's 15 quid actually for 3, which isn't bad if you are a huge collector of Funko, but you're taking the risk, obviously. Blind bagging! Speaking of blind bagging, I'm Christopher. Please someone tell the police he hasn't fed me in a week, Johnson.
I'm Matt. I'm the chase figure, Watson.
Oh, baby.
I'm short packed.
You're the builder figure. I had to collect you over several different waves. You're like Killer Croc. Killer Croc.
There's only one of me in each case assortment.
Sorry, when you say Killer Croc, I just want to say it like Bane does in the Dirk Maggs Nightfall radio adaptation. Killer Croc.
I've got that on cassette somewhere.
It's so much fun. I
It's
lost it recently.
hugely
I had it on
camp.
Apple, but it's one of those things that every now and again the license thingies and it just disappears and you're like, why?
Which is bullshit for something you've bought.
I
like.
know. Isn't it stupid relying on digital? Mind you, my brother today showed me the beta for XTV or whatever the hell it's called. The thing where not Triple X. The thing where Xbox have dished out beta now that you can stream digital games to your mobile device or tablet.
Oh, yeah.
He let me have a play on it today.
Extreme.
It works really well.
It's
And it was-
basically a remote play.
Yeah, but they're betaing it
works
with
better.
4 specific games just to see how people feel.
Yeah.
So they put it out with Halo 5, Killer Instinct, which is what I played for a bit.
Killer Instinct's quite good.
Riptor, still my OTP,
Ultra Combo.
my MVP even. Me and Riptor, one true pairing. Fanfiction.net, just search us, you'll find so much. And also Sea of Thieves and some cunt, I don't know, something else. But it was pretty good.
Probably a Gears game.
It was pretty good, and if you know, like it's good for him because he pays for a lot of data on his mobile.
Yeah.
So he can beta test this like on the bus or at work on a lunch hour. Just whip an Xbox controller out with his phone attached and play a video game.
I know landline data caps aren't so much a thing over here as they are in the States, but they can be fuckers for
That's why I
Games.
won't buy into the Google. What's it called? Stadia.
Stadia, yeah.
Because like, sure, great, but I live in an area with decent connections, decent
Yeah.
broadband, this, that, and the other, and there's still dropouts. There's still periods where everything just goes blue.
Plus,
And I don't want to get rid of everything. If Crash Team Racing server is down, I can't play online. But because of my disc and it being on my goddamn console, do you know what I can do, folks?
disc.
Do you know what I can do, folks? I can still play 90% of the rest of the damn thing.
Slight problem though.
Oh.
You'll still be playing Crash Team Racing.
Hey,
Oh!
hey. Enough waffle! What's on the content menu this
On
week,
the
you horny
contents menu
toad?
this week, we are going to be diving into the new Terminator film, which is actually good.
Maybe, question mark? We haven't talked about it yet.
We'll get into it. We'll get
let's
into it.
find out. Spoiler alert, I liked it.
But first,
No need to keep
First.
listening now. I've ruined it. We're cooks, apparently.
the Cookinator.
Yeah, we're
Cookinator.
male genociding. We're cooperating with the male genocide, apparently, if we like that movie.
To paraphrase Lindsay Ellis, I can't wait for that genocide.
Oh, God.
It's my favourite kind.
Don't. We'll have to do a fucking seminar EXO episode in a few years.
No.
Did you watch the H Bomber one?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Absolutely
wonderful.
As everything he does is.
That is very true.
We can only.
Who's going to move there, Ben? Fucking Aquaman. Marvellous stuff. Marvellous stuff.
But we've got some news. First, to quote an email that we were sent by our good friend Charlie.
Beautiful Charlie with his eyes and dreams.
He sent us an email which makes up our first news headline of the day. The entirety of his email was, Game of Thrones prequel is dead. Long live the Game of Thrones prequel. Because that is indeed true.
Yeah, that's a thing.
So,
that happened.
As many of us know, Jane Goldman had scripted a pilot for a HBO prequel series under the working title of The Long Night, starring Naomi Watts, all about the birth of the White Walkers and how House Stark ruled over the North.
It's set a few hundred years before the events of Game of Thrones, that one?
A few thousand years.
A few thousand years before.
Who knows? A while before. It's at least 1,000 years.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah,
before.
Yeah. It's before
House Targaryen came over and united the
which
Seven
is
Kingdoms.
what the other one.
So
because HBO commissioned 2 prequel pilots.
Yes.
And one has been shot, and that is the Jane Goldman penned one.
Jane Goldman one has been oldie.
Really good cast as well. Like solid cast for it.
But maybe they just thought, you know what? Interesting.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We've not seen the pilot, so we can only speculate.
Now, apparently, it ran into production problems, but what form those took, no one knows, because that's just rumoured. So we don't know.
I wonder if it's because visually it's too close. Have I been drinking out of your cup? I just randomly felt like I've reached down to that cup at some point.
Quite possibly.
No, I can't taste coffee, so I can't have done. But I can taste jizz.
Well, you might have done.
I might have done. You know, I've got to get my protein somehow.
How's the pale ale?
I'm a pescatarian, so...
Fish! salmon, tuna!
I went to Holland and Barrett, I said, I need some tablets to replace iron, and they went, you don't need tablets, son, and they just got their penis out. Both Holland and Barrett, which, funnily enough, is what they nicknamed their testicles.
I know it's pretty, baby, but I didn't take it out for air.
Oh, well, this just got creepy. So... I think possibly they went, right, so this is similar to Game of Thrones in terms of its premise and the
almost
sort
like
of characters
it's a prequel series of some sort.
No, but like with the White Walkers especially, it's like the White Walkers would clearly be a threat in the show. So it must be like...
At least they were a threat in one show. But
this is too similar to that show that we just finished that did really well but critically ended on a massive
they burned a lot of goodwill with how Game of Thrones ended.
So if they have another pilot a prequel at their disposal... and it is different enough, I can understand why they'd favour it. But also that, the other one's co-written by George R.R. Martin, which immediately gets them good graces, because people will go, well, George is back to correct everything, after he was involved much less with the last couple seasons of Game of Thrones.
It's based on his book Fire and Blood, which tells... the early days of House Targaryen and uniting the Three Kingdoms.
It's his Silmarillion.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And that's the prequel series that they're going forward with a 10-episode series order.
What's it called again?
House of the Dragon, I believe.
House of the Dragon.
What the series is called.
This one is House of the Dragon. Your sorrow is my playground. Your tears are the fountain I frolic in. Now, I love Jane Goldman. I think she's a really good talent. Hell, 14-year-old me fancied the shit out of her in the TV series Jane Goldman Investigates, and still kind of does.
Did she investigate?
She did. It was
what
great.
did she investigate?
She investigated like things to do with therapy, paranormal stuff.
Oh, okay.
It was great, and like I was going through my massive goth crush phase, and she was like dark red or dark pink hair and a big sexy goth lady. So certainly helped. And I still do fancy her quite a bit, actually.
Do you think that's how Jonathan Ross proposed?
You are a big sexy goth lady. Hello. I met her very briefly in 2014. And
did you keep your mouth shut?
I did. I did. I
Probably
kept my
a good
mouth
idea.
very closed. I was like, I'm not saying a damn thing in case I embarrass myself. I am 2 wines in.
Pick your jaw up.
So I chatted
Johnson.
So I chatted to Lindsay Duncan for 5 minutes instead.
Ooh,
and the whole time
also good.
I was like, I'm sure this is Lindsay Duncan. She was talking to me about kids TV. Fun. She just came over and started asking me some questions. It was really lovely. And then she left. In my brain, I was like, sure, that was Lindsay Duncan. And it was. So there we go. Moral of the story is, don't get too drunk if you're ever invited to a press night.
You know what else is the moral of the story?
don't let Jane Goldman write your prequel because apparently it won't go down, and also she will be the reason it leaks that prequel has been denied because she sent an email out early on Tuesday to all the cast to let them know that the show was not going ahead, and she had been told earlier in the week, and that preempted the press announcement for House of the Dragon 2 hours later. So the magic of Twitter let the world know that one show wasn't going to happen, and that the other show then was announced. Meaning that people are split on the opinion of what has happened. Because people want to see Naomi Watts leading a series set in the world of Game of Thrones.
That's not what I was going to go with.
Oh.
I was going to go
We've got Jane Goldman on the line.
I was going to go with...
Hi, Jane!
The moral of the story is, when you leave a massively successful TV series with under a cloud, shall we say, with the reception of its finale, and then go on to begin work on another massively successful multimedia franchise, what you don't do is go and talk about how
you blagged it.
You basically spent the entire 8 seasons of the thing you were working on previously flying completely fucking blind and making it up as you went along, to the point where you wrote yourself into a fucking corner, didn't know how to finish things properly, and now you're promptly not working on that new multimedia franchise anymore.
Are we talking about D&D?
D&D!
Fighting with the legends of yore.
Heroes without themes.
David and DB have done fucked it up again.
Oh.
Because after delivering Game of Thrones and definitely not sticking the landing, these two guys, who need I remind you, one of which wrote X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is why I will never understand everybody's outpouring of love and adoration for him overall.
I know why.
Oh?
They're 2 white men in Hollywood.
White men in Hollywood.
They can fail upwards.
Who wrote most of Game of Thrones with a bit of help here and there.
Yeah. You know, most of the other writers on Game of Thrones were their assistants who they just farmed episodes out to.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to do more.
So the other day they...
What?
The other day they took part in an event. It was an Academy event, wasn't it? Like a Q&A for writers and whatnot.
Yeah, I think so.
They talked about Game of Thrones.
And somehow Benioff and Weiss got invited. Got him.
Zing, as the kids would say. So they revealed, according to a bunch of Twitter threads at the time, they revealed that they were kind of coasting during Series 1 of Game of Thrones, just sort of feeling around. They treated it, quote, like a student film, unquote.
Sure.
Maybe don't say that, guys. Totally say it was a learning experience. We went in thinking it was one thing, it was something else, and we adapted. Like, talk about that way. Brilliant, yeah. Don't go in saying, yeah, we treated it like a DOS. We treated it like we were farting around. They say that after the books ended and their adaptation of the remaining storylines began, they let the actors dictate what the characters would do based on the actors' performances. That's not a thing. Unless they sit down with them and say, where do you think you would go? What do you think the motivation is now? Unless you did that, that's basically just saying, oh, well, you know, like, we just sort of hit autopilot. What? We hit autopilot and then made sure to hit X, Y, Z for certain story beats by the end, even though the autopilot would lead you to believe that's not where we're going, which it seems was the case with, like, Daenerys' turn and a bunch of other stuff in that final season, everything being so sudden. It's because they weren't actually laying the groundwork for these things. They were just coasting.
Well, it was there in it's there in the adapted text, but they let it sort of like fallow in their new material. So when it comes back again, they've not done the work in the meantime to sort of cement that.
Basically, they reveal themselves to be a bit fuck-uppery.
It just pisses me off. Like, how 2 people who did nothing but fuck up managed to become so fucking successful?
Well, that was the thing, of course, Matt. We've talked about this before. They were commissioned to helm a new Star Wars trilogy. Not saga trilogy, but a new trilogy of films set in the world of Star Wars. When that news came out about 2 years ago, I think we all went, oh, cool, the Game of Thrones guys. Oh, all right, cool. When did they start that? When did they start that? Disney. When they finished Game of Thrones. Us. Cool. HBO. So, boys, how long do you need? We're going to give you another 2 seasons if you want it. The lads. We're good. We'll wrap it up this season. HBO. Right. Do you want 10 episodes as per? D&D. 6 will do. Like, it felt like they rushed Game of Thrones to go and make their Star Wars project.
Which now isn't happening.
Which now isn't happening because a day after that Twitter thread went up of what they said at the panel,
Yeah.
they are no longer making a trilogy with Lucasfilm. Kathleen Kennedy announced it and let the information get out there. It's not happening. Now, did that Twitter thread spur it on? Probably not.
Well, the reason
but in a
given...
world where Gunn makes some jokes years ago, apologises for them, and then those jokes get brought up again by a weaponized alt-right leaning journalist.
Yeah, too right.
Leads to Disney firing him from Guardians of the Galaxy less than 24 hours later. I wouldn't be surprised if that thread contributed to the decision.
Well, the reason given for it was that many Alpha and Whites are having to step away because they've got full schedules. Because, of course, there is a ridiculous six-figure multi-year deal to develop new stuff for Netflix.
Yeah.
So, apparently their plates are just too full.
Bullshit.
But this whole thing smells of fucking... I just don't understand
One of them wrote X-Men Origins Wolverine. I will never not stress that.
I don't understand how they're getting such high-profile jobs after... I get that they made Game of Thrones the success it was, but they also fucked the ending. Like, I don't hate the end of Game of Thrones. Like, I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's fine.
It's just unsatisfying.
It is unsatisfying, but it's not like...
One of them sewed Deadpool's mouth shut in Deadpool's movie debut. One of them thought it was important to tell us the story of how Wolverine got that jacket, despite that jacket then going missing over the course of the film, so it's clearly not the same jacket he's wearing in X3.
Like, fuck these guys, man.
Yep. Yep.
Fuck these guys.
Tits and dragons, tits and dragons, tits and dragons.
I was after the end of Game of Thrones. I was like, you know what? Maybe when they get their hands on something else, they can show me what else they've got. No, I don't give a fuck. I'm not interested in anything they have to talk about. They just come across as inept.
I've got some D&D stuck in my throat.
Oh, but there is some good stuff coming on the old TV pipes.
Pipes. They're re-releasing Ghostwatch on BBC One.
No, never be screened again.
Ah, that sucks.
Until it is. Yeah, so remember when Warner Brothers had their own DC streaming service? We're going to do loads of new content for the streaming service, and it's going to be great. And then,
some of which has yet to debut as well.
And then it just sort of died on the vine.
Because Warner's went, actually, let's do a Warner Brothers one. We haven't got a plan for it yet, but we're going to put it in motion. So let's take some budget from you guys. That Swamp Thing. Yeah, don't bother with doing a second series. Cap it off with one. Doom Patrol, we'll decide later.
We'll do it later.
Let's take some of this and take some of that money here and there. Yeah.
Well,
looks like Warner's needs some sweet money from other places for a while.
Well, the new home for all that stuff is HBO Max. Because HBO itself already a subscription-only cable channel in the States has now got its own streaming service. The world is eating itself.
I've heard of a hydra, but have you ever seen a snake with one head and many tails, and it's not sure which one to start eating?
So many tails.
Our Rob or Ross.
Our Rob. That's how I remember how to spell a Roboros. Every time it's Red Dwarf. Our Rob or Ross. Fucking hell. So we've got more DC Universe. More DC original TV coming, but not on DC Universe, on HBO Max. We have got
brand new Doom Patrol. It's getting its
brand new
second
Doom Patrol.
series is getting a platform there.
Which has that been on anywhere over here?
Doom Patrol series 1 is on Netflix.
Right, I need to check that out because I wasn't sure where it was streaming. We're getting Adam Strange.
Yeah,
whether or not
I'm up for.
Whether or not that's related to the Adam Strange who is in Krypton. I've no idea.
No, apparently Krypton's story is over now, according to one of the showrunners. Like, it's not being spun off or continued. Because remember, they were going to spin off. They were going to spin off into a Lobo show.
Oh, fucking hell!
Because Lobo appears throughout seasons 2 and 3. 3 seasons of Krypton, I think. You know, Krypton wasn't fussed. Like, and then Cameron Thingy, the main guy who plays Mon-El? No, it wouldn't be Mon-El, would it?
Adam Strange.
No, he plays the main guy. Superman's granddad.
Oh, Superman's granddad. Yeah. That guy.
He was on Fat Man Beyond as a guest. Kevin was like, I'll be honest, I've never watched it. He talks about what it's about, and you go, shit, why did they just send you out? Because when he described it, I was like, alright, I'd watch that.
That's actually interesting.
I would totally watch that.
But no.
But no.
But no.
But Adam Strange obviously was popular enough on that show that they thought, right, we're going to do a show based on Adam Strange. I'm up for pulpy sci-fi shit.
I'm
based
always
on
up for pulpy sci-fi
50s
shit.
B-movie style vibes. I'm
Yeah.
cool. But not only that, effects-heavy motherfucking stuff is coming.
Green Lantern,
Green
live-action
Lantern.
TV series.
Co-produced by Greg Berlanti.
Yeah.
So, presumably it will be set within the wider network of the CW shows.
There is...
In the same way Black Lightning now is, because Black Lightning will be appearing in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
There has been rumblings of a Green Lantern show as far back as fucking Arrow Season 3. Like, around the time that Flash was gearing up, so... This is something Greg Berlanti has clearly been wanting to do for a while. So, I guess this is just...
Keep in mind, they were trying to leave all the big guns out of those shows, but, like, Batwoman openly acknowledges that Batman is a thing.
And thanks to Supergirl, we now have a Superman.
Yeah.
Who is now getting his own show!
Yes! I've been... This felt really weird, because I've recently revisited Lois and Clark, and had a ton of fun with that.
It's so 90s!
It's beautiful. And it's great, because, like...
so painfully 90s.
1994,
It's
Dean
so painfully
Cain
90s, it's almost
is
still the 80s.
So... 1994, Dean Cain is so wonderfully Superman in that show that it is heartbreaking to learn that he's a massive homophobic, incredibly right-wing Trump supporter.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him.
Fuck him and his infinite Christmas movies.
Oh, God.
That's all he ever fucking makes now.
But hey, he's obviously a tremendous actor, because you believe that he is the kind-hearted soul that is Clark Kent in that show.
I wonder how much of the, you know that Sony Cinema Christmas channel that's on Freeview now?
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that lineup is, like, cheap Dean Cain,
Dean
straight-to-video Christmas movies.
Dean Cain and Kevin Sorbo.
Oh,
in
no!
Jesus and Santa or some shit.
It's beginning to look a lot like
Jesus.
Christmas. Homophobic Christmas.
Homophobic Christmas.
My
starring Kevin
homophobic
Sorbo.
Christmas 3.
Oh, God.
4 homophobic Christmases. Homophobic miracle on 34th Street.
Okay, please stop, because someone will commission these.
It's a wonderful homophobic life.
Oh, God. Yeah, it is! No, wait, hang on. No, it's a wonderful homosexual life.
Yeah.
Let's get that right.
But for them, it's a wonderful homophobic life.
Well, screw those guys. Fuck them. Fuck them right in the ear. Disappointed. Oh, God.
The homophobic Santa Claus.
But enough on Dean Cain and 28-year-old Terry Hatcher, who is Chef's Kiss. Didn't fancy her in Desperate Housewives. Revisiting Lois and Clark, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, but did you see her evil in Supergirl?
No, she didn't see it. Damn, Terry Hatcher, shit.
Evil Terry Hatcher.
Evil Terry Hatcher in a plan.
Paired up with the equally evil, but also evil in real life, Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, God. Well. Oh, no. So is Superman and Lois, as it is tentatively being referred to in these announcements, going to be a Lois and Clark reboot, essentially, but using this version of Superman and Lois?
It's Superman and Lois and their baby.
Oh, they're doing John.
Because
little John Kent.
Their last appearance on, I think it was on Supergirl, was Lois revealing that she was pregnant.
Holy snap balls.
So it's probably going to be...
Who plays Lois again?
Lois is played by Elizabeth Tulloch.
Elizabeth Tulloch. I've got a hunch on this one. Just give me 1 second.
Produced by Greg Berlanti with Todd Helbing, is a showrunner who's been a regular creative on The Flash as an executive producer.
Bitsy Tulloch, she goes by. Is that right?
I don't know.
Tulloch?
I don't know.
Bitsy Tulloch. Hello, it's me, Bitsy Tulloch. Yes, she is indeed Lois Lane.
The logline for it is: the world's most famous superhero and comic book's most famous journalist deal with all the stress, pressures, and complexities that come with being working parents in today's society.
Okay, and Tyler Hoechlin.
Tyler Hoechlin.
Okay, right, here's a fact.
Tyler Hoechlin.
He's 32.
Yes.
She's 38, going on 39. Do you know what I love about that? They are confidently making the lead of one of these shows somebody who is going to turn 40 over the course of the first season. That's pretty freaking great.
And a woman at that.
Yeah, that is pretty freaking great. And they are framing her flat out as just like, yeah, no, she is the romantic co-lead of this show. That's freaking great.
I mean, look at him. Look at him.
They look great.
Look at those jaw lines.
He's amazing. He is amazing. And a fucking dish. With or without the wedges in the boots.
Oh!
To make that butt
Butt does pop.
Butt
I
pop.
think he's a really charming, low-key Superman.
He's the first Superman whose ass cheeks clap.
Oh! Speaking of clapping...
Oh, God. How's this segue going to
I don't know. There will be no standing ovations for the Grudge reboot when it comes out in a few months.
Nice. Yeah, so the Grudge reboot, the trailer's out.
Produced by Sam Raimi.
Yay. Made by the director of...
Something.
Evil Dead Reboot and Don't Breathe?
Is it Fede Alvarez?
I don't know.
I'm going to look it up. You
I'm
say
gonna look at
something.
But my knowledge of The Grudge is based on one viewing of the 2000...
The Sarah Michelle Gellar Western remake of the original film.
Sarah Michelle... early 2000s. Viewing it like once on Channel 4 late at night in the last 10 years. Because I was sort of too young to really be interested in it when it came out, but... You know, old enough to be like,
I'll
watch this at some point.
I was sort of old enough to get caught up in that wave of American remakes of J-horror stuff.
Kicked off with The Ring in 2002.
But also starring
The Grudge might have been 2004, then.
I think it was. And yeah, just
that wave of films of like, what's the premise of this? Who cares? It's got a spooky girl with long black hair in it. Oh, okay.
Director is Nicholas Pesce. Or Pesce.
The trailer highlighted Don't Breathe and...
That's producer work.
there you go. Okay.
Past credits being The Eyes of My Mother in 2016 and Piercing in 2018. and he was also the writer for those. He's also screenplay credited for The Grudge.
So this is a remake? Question mark?
It's a
remake of a remake.
It's a remake / reboot, but I think it's set in the same. It's supposedly a sequel to the Sarah Michelle Gellar
So,
film.
like The Thing prequel this is almost the same movie in a lot of ways as The Thing. Shares the name of The Thing,
yeah,
but is not actually a remake of The Thing. It's a prequel to The Thing. So this is set in the world of the Sarah Michelle Gellar film The Grudge. Will hit several of the exact same beats as The Grudge, but is actually a sequel to The Grudge.
Like the Evil Dead reboot is
Well,
a reboot of Evil Dead, but also allegedly takes place in the same universe as Evil Dead.
Well, was going to be be confirmed to take place in the same universe, but they left it where it was.
Yeah.
So because the post-credit scene is just a weird little Easter egg for
I
fans
watched
of the
it
franchise.
for the first time yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
Controversial opinion, folks. I really like it.
I don't know if I really like it, but I quite liked it.
I just think like it's a beautiful sort of like it's a time machine. It's one of those remakes where it's like, here's how it's made on no money in 1970 whatever.
Yeah.
And here's how it's made on no money in 2013.
The only thing that I didn't like about it is how humorless it is compared to the originals, but that allows it to be its own thing.
True, but it veered closer to the original film for me, because the original film isn't meant to be funny. Like,
No,
there's no intentional comedy. Its age has kind of made it funny. It's aging.
Whereas Evil Dead 2 is basically slapstick with blood.
Yeah. I mean, there's bits in Evil Dead where Ash is put through the ringer.
Yeah.
But Evil Dead 2 is where they like go, fuck it. Throw the Three Stooges shit in there. Let's do it. Whereas the new one doesn't really have any of that. But I love the final confrontation in the mud.
Yeah.
Outside the burning cabin.
There is some real fucked up shit in that movie. The gore effects are incredible. And
You're all gonna die tonight.
I am hoping that they do an Evil Dead with The Grudge. Because if they can, do a similar sort of tonal shift, but make it feel
of
a thing, but also a
part
from the original.
Of the thing?
Not of the thing, of a thing. With the original, then I think
Matt's done a big damn love on The Thing. Go watch it on the YouTube channel. I'm trying to unsubtly plug that movie.
Maybe I'll do one on the 2011 The Thing, because I really like that movie.
It's not bad. It's got problems.
But yeah,
it's one of those films that's worse based on the more you learn about it.
Yeah.
Like, watching it, you just go, yeah, it's fine.
It's a solid script. Let's be honest.
And Mary Elizabeth Winstead improves all things.
Yeah.
Most things. She improves most things.
You know what she's not improving, because she's not in it?
Go on. How's this segue going to work?
HBO's Watchmen series, which has begun, and I've seen the first couple of episodes of, and you've not seen yet.
No. So this is a sequel to the comic book.
It's a sequel to the comic book.
Shares the name with the comic book.
Shares the name of the comic book.
There's a sequel to it, though.
There's a sequel to it.
But, like, it's also a reboot of the franchise, or at least the public awareness of the franchise of Watchmen.
I guess.
So it's like The Grudge and The Thing and Evil Dead.
This is a series that...
Is it set present day?
Yes.
Unquote. Okay.
But it looks retro because they explain that technology hasn't taken the same leaps in the Watchmen universe as it has in the real world.
Okay.
Because of various socio-political factors stemming from the existence of superheroes,
which I suppose
Dr. Manhattan,
you have to do
a giant squid appearing in Times Square.
That's what I wanted to ask. So the book happened.
The book happened.
The graphic novel Watchmen.
The graphic novel Watchmen happened.
So a giant squid attack happened.
A giant squid attack happened.
It's gonna be bombs.
Interdimensional invasion event, a transdimensional invasion event happened.
Brilliant.
There is a load of apart from the stuff that's in the show, they have done the sort of equivalent of, in each issue of the original Watchmen, you've got the back matter.
Yeah,
which is like newspaper clippings.
Black Freighter and
Black Freighter's woven into
the kids
it.
reading it.
Like there's the stuff at the back, which is of each issue, which is the psychiatrist report on Rorschach, newspaper articles about political things that happened, a bit of Hollis Mason's autobiography, all that stuff.
Yeah.
There is a website that HBO have been updating, which has got files that explain a lot of what's happened in the gap between Watchmen and Watchmen.
Not essential, but excellent supplemental.
Excellent supplemental material. Good. And there's 2 bunches of that for each of the 2 episodes on there so far.
Good. Remember when shows used to do that? Like, have sites they updated as it went, so you would want to check back.
And it's an interesting sequel so far. I'm not sure... This sort of... I guess 2, but maybe with a 3rd narrative thread in the first 2 episodes. I'm not sure how they're going to join them together. And I'm not sure how they're going to tie that back into the original Watchmen. With some obvious exceptions, because there are certain actors who we know are playing certain characters. It's just a thing of seeing how that ties in with the rest of it.
Is Jeremy Irons Ozymandias?
He has not been named as such on screen yet, but it is all but confirmed.
Okay. Does he have his big weird doggo thingy?
No.
Oh. Are we likely to see it stuffed in a cabinet in a secret lair at some point?
Possibly.
Okay. The cops are taking on the mantle of Rorschach?
No.
People pretending to be cops are taking on the mantle of Rorschach? No, the cops are wearing, different things.
It's set in Tulsa.
Yeah.
It uses the real-life Tulsa massacre of the 1920s as a backdrop for racial tensions in Tulsa today, because President Robert Redford, serving his 7th and final consecutive term in office as President of the United States, he granted reparations to the descendants of the Tulsa massacre, to the survivors of the Tulsa massacre, and that's, inflamed racial tensions in the area. There was an event called the White Night, which is Christmas Eve 2016, where a bunch of this white supremacist organisation, which has adopted the sort of Rorschach imagery, called the 7th Cavalry.
Do you know what I like about that? This show is already de-glamorizing Rorschach as a character.
Very smart like that.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm so surprised
Jackie
about
Earle Haley's performance, and obviously, like in the book, some moments that are like, oh, that's quite a badass moment, turned him into he's my favourite character, he's great. And it's like, he's not great, though. Rorschach is not a nice person. Well, Rorschach does some good things, but Rorschach is ultimately a homophobic, violent, misogynistic, racist little shit.
This white supremacist organisation, the 7th Cavalry, have adopted his sort of imagery and use his... Because his journal has, of course, been published at this point.
Oh, of course!
Although it's regarded by most as a bit of extreme extreme right-wing looniness.
Yeah. I'm so glad they've done that.
So
knock it down a peg and remind people that this character is not someone you should aspire to be.
There was this thing
Jackie Earle Haley's excellent portrayal aside, of course.
There was this thing called the White Night where they attacked 40 different policemen's households in one night in a coordinated attack and wiped out all but 3 of them.
Fucking hell.
Two of which are two of the characters we get to meet in the Angela King character, who is the
protagonist,
of the series, as Angela Abar / Sister Knight. She is sort of an off-the-books secret policewoman.
Yeah.
Because she's retired, quote unquote.
Does she host dances? That
no.
people can attend?
No, unfortunately not.
So she doesn't have a secret policeman's ball?
No. No secret policeman's balls.
Shame in a way.
You might see policeman's balls. You haven't yet. But
Do you see some blue balls?
Not in the way you might expect.
Because another thing that's beautiful about that book as well is these are not super-powered people, bar some exceptions. And obviously one of the biggest visual sort of triumphs of that book and of the Snyder adaptation and everything is Dr. Manhattan. He's a very striking visual.
They're not shying away from the existence of Dr. Manhattan and the impact he's had on this society.
Good. Okay.
He's very important.
Because when I saw the trailers, I was like, okay, but there are also very big elements of the book that it would be weird for them not to acknowledge, like the giant squid attack, for example.
He's very important. The squids are early on mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah. So, where was I?
I think I'm gonna have to. Do you know what I'm gonna do?
You're gonna have to watch it
because it's on Now TV. So it's gonna be
it's HBO show. So it's on Now
TV. So it's gonna each episode's gonna have a life cycle of about a month.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is in the next week or two, I'm gonna revisit the graphic novel. I'm gonna give myself a cheeky little treat, and then I'm gonna hit up the show.
There are new episodes every Monday.
Bathe in it because they'll be coming out while I'm in Panther rehearsals as well. So that can be like my weekly check-in.
So yeah, in the aftermath of the White Knight, basically all the Tulsa police are now legally mandated to keep their identities secret and wear masks at all times.
Oh shit!
So they sort of combine vigilantism.
Is that what, like the smiley faced with like yellow or something?
They're just plain yellow masks for most of them, but there are other police staff who have more distinct identities.
Yeah.
Tim Blake Nelson is Looking Glass, who's got the silver mask.
Yeah.
And he's like the interrogation specialist.
Okay.
There's like a Russian expat guy called Red Scare, who's one of them.
That's great. These sound like they're from the book.
Yeah, it feels like it's set in that world more than Doomsday Clock does, because the first thing Doomsday Clock does is fucking destroy the Watchmen universe and transplant a bunch of characters to the DC universe.
Yeah.
Whereas this is very much living with the consequences of everything that comes in the wake of Watchmen.
Yeah.
How it directly connects to that original narrative, I've yet to see, but I'm interested to see where it goes. Jeremy Irons isn't in it a huge amount so far.
He's been teased.
He does fucking own every moment he's on screen, though. The stuff with him.
These DC fellas employed me for something and they fucked it up twice. I thought I'd have a go at something where it'll be interesting.
The stuff with him, it is just...
But couldn't
brilliant.
the father marry his son? Jeremy, stop talking!
Stop talking, Jeremy! Just say what's on the page!
Do the acting!
Say what's on the page! And when he says what's on the page, it's fucking marvellous. It's a bonkers series. It's really... 2 episodes in, it's already very fucking weird.
Am I right in saying it's Lindelof?
It's Lindelof.
So the landing could be fucking diabolical.
People say he did really well with The Leftovers.
Yeah, so, I've heard that too. Let's see.
It's more Leftovers than Lost, because don't forget, it wasn't just him on Lost.
True.
Which is what people hold over his head a lot.
Yeah.
And also it wasn't necessarily his rewrite.
Lindelof wanted to open the mystery box. He wanted to open it.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we get more opening of the box, because we've got questions. We've not got many answers yet. But
J.J. Abrams has just got a rotten fucking candy apple in a box somewhere, and he's like, "What could be inside?" It starts dripping from the bottom.
Opens it and it moves out of its own accord.
Oh,
so yeah, check out
flies climb out of the gaps.
Check out the Watchmen series.
Do it
now. 2 episodes in, it's pretty fucking great.
Do it
also
now.
Has a soundtrack by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Oh shit!
So it fucking kicks.
Okay.
It fucking kicks, boy.
I did not know that.
It is. I didn't until I started watching the show, and then the music started. I was like, "Oh,
this sounds special.
This sounds fucking great." Unfortunately, because the series is still ongoing, it's not on Spotify yet, but you can bet once that shit is on Spotify, it'll be in my heavy rotation, because man, oh man, it's good.
Shall we move on to tonight's
Let's
main
move on to the
course?
main topic. The main course.
I think we keep spoiler-free thoughts super brief
Because
you
you've
can't
heard
really
mine.
talk about this movie without going into
Yeah.
spoilers. Guys,
They've done
girls, folks, we're gonna talk about Terminator Dark Fate in detail. Tiny bit of background, spoiler free, and then we're gonna move on and we'll give you a warning.
it. They did it! Damn you!
I wasn't excited for this movie at all because it's a Terminator sequel released after T2.
I was cautiously excited for it.
Yeah,
Cautiously.
the
Very
first
cautiously.
trailer certainly got my interest with that brilliant like I'm going hunting. Like the tone of that trailer was like, this is wonderfully bleak.
Weird dark cover of a Bjork song, which is probably already weird and dark because it's fucking Bjork.
God.
What?
True.
don't
But
know.
like, what I like about the original is how bleak and hopeless it feels. What I like about T2 is the fact that it, there's loads of things to love about T2. It's one of the greatest action movies ever made, but like every action set piece informs you of something.
There is no fate but what we make.
Boom ting was the final line, if I remember correctly. She turns
Yeah.
around the camera and says boom ting.
Boom
She drops
ting.
a mic and the credits roll.
Walks off.
Um,
And then goes off to do T2 3D.
yes!
Battle through
Which is
time.
canon!
Which is canon.
T2 3D is still canon. It's still
There is
canon.
nothing in this
That says
that
it
contradicts T2 3D.
In fact, if anything, something at the beginning of this implies that events happened after number 2. Like, events continued to happen, so I completely believe that some time traveling Terminator shenanigans happened because the T1 million is too cool to ignore.
Cool is a strong word.
It's basically a Sentinel from Matrix.
Cool is a strong word.
It's a Sentinel from Matrix, but
I've
bigger.
seen that thing.
I've seen it in 3D,
Oh.
and it was a thing. Those actors mimed very well to the dialogue that was being said.
I thought they
so-
mined.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. They didn't get people to try and sound.
No,
oh,
they
that's,
mind
that's good.
because there are video bits within it with Linda Hamilton and
Yeah.
old Eddie Furlong. Eddie Furlong? Yeah. And Arnold Schwarzenegger. So they pre-recorded the dialogue that would be spoken by the live actors. But the live actors were always enough of a distance from you that it wasn't like, that person's miming. It's like, cool! Like, fair enough! It was really fun! I got
Also,
to see
enough of a
it
distance-
before it disappeared forever.
Enough of a distance from you that you could squint and go, oh yeah, that might be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Knowing
Could
full
be
well
it.
it's not.
It's totally not.
Wait, that guy's black.
Terminator Dark Fate is a... Universal actually do that, and they don't care. And I kind of respect that.
That's
They do that thing.
cool.
They do that thing where if people are playing characters in certain scenarios and setups, they don't care if the ethnicity's different to how it is in the film. They just go with it. Like they did a Ghostbusters thing throughout the 90s, and I watched some versions of it online. And there's one where Walter Peck's just a tall African American guy, and they
Fair.
don't say anything about it. It's just he's playing Walter Peck. And you're like, sure.
Still has no dick.
Okay, like he goes for he's proper sort of creepy William Atherton, like he's got like the character down pat, and they don't acknowledge it. And you're like, sure, this is great. I'm happy for you guys. Well done, well done. And anyone who has a problem with it, seriously rethink your life choices. Like the people who are mad at this movie, but we'll carry on with that. So this is a sequel to T2.
Yes.
Completely ignoring Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines,
Yep.
Terminator Salvation, and Terminator Genesis Smith.
So he completely ignores Terminator 3, Terminator 3, and Terminator 3.
So this is Terminator 3, not in
4.
3D. Yeah, this is the fourth threequel.
Well, no, because
Fifth threequel, if you count 3D.
Salvation is technically Terminator 4, because it doesn't contradict anything in Rise of the Machines, and it carries over Kate Brewster.
It does, yeah.
So it's technically Terminator 4, I guess.
And also they take great pains in that for when you see the T-800 toward the end, it looks like Arnie does in the 84 movie. Like they really try to match it.
Hey, they did the same thing in Terminator Genesis.
Yeah.
But so basically this is the third Terminator 3. It's Terminator cubed.
This is the
essentially.
This is the Superman Returns entry.
Yeah.
This is the that other shit. Forget that. This is the third entry.
And you want to know the most shocking thing about all that? It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I actually really liked it.
It's not the strongest of what is now the trilogy.
No.
but not by a long shot. But it is definitely not a poor movie.
Put it this way.
It doesn't fuck up the world or the premise that it's from. It makes one choice that I really don't like, which we'll get into in spoilers.
Yeah.
But it aside from that, it's like, yeah, this fits. This fits in tonally. This makes sense in terms of the ongoing narrative of those films. If you think of Sarah Connor as your main character of the trilogy, this completely makes sense for her.
Yeah.
And also, the action's pretty fucking solid.
Yeah.
Aside from sort of one sequence in the hangar of an airplane, which I felt could have been done a lot more deftly in places.
There's a couple
the
of
action
moments...
gets lost a bit in the... Look at how this is one shot, unquote.
Yeah.
It's like, we can't see what's happening.
There's a couple of moments where you get that elastic CGI person thing.
Yes.
But that's just an unavoidable...
Yeah, there's some bad CGI in the first half of it. Not terrible, but... Oh, that is CGI kind of CGI. But you can see it.
Yeah. It's a shame. Like Sam Raimi Spider-Man CGI, where it's rubbery people. But,
we'll meet again, Spider-Man.
Like Blade 2 CGI.
Love you, Guillermo.
No, it's not like... It's just like, oh, no. But, I mean, this is Tim Miller's second film as a director.
Yeah, that was the thing that impressed me the most. This
but you
is
can
his
also
second
tell
movie.
that he has brought all of the chops he had from doing
visual effects,
all the CG
game
and visual effects work.
Yeah.
He's brought all that. That's why the action in this looks really, really good. And it's fairly inventive as well. Like, it's not just doing the same Terminator beats to like, okay, well, these are the capabilities of these characters, so how can we use them to do something interesting with them fighting each other? As opposed to it just being like, it's gonna smashy and smash you through a wall and smashy, like Terminator 3.
Oh yeah, smashy.
Or Terminator Genesis, which is like, we're gonna shoot it with a gun.
Our 5 core cast members are really good.
Yes.
Like, they're really good.
Really good.
Danny is played by...
Natalia Reyes.
She's fantastic. The script forgets her a bit in the second act, but she is never the reason why the character feels a bit bleh. It's just the story.
It's great because you just get to see her... She actually does have an art, even though
you watch her
does
go
have
from...
an art, you watch her grow.
You watch her go from, like... It's a mirror to Sarah Connor in the first movie.
Yeah.
But she tips into T2 Sarah Connor by the end.
You see her take that same journey.
Yeah. And you see sort of like that turning point moment. Like, if you wanted to watch a character go through the "you're terminated, fucker" moment again and done well, she absolutely nails it. You feel for her throughout the entire first act, and you like are delighted with her journey and her actions in the third act.
Because that first act is really a whirlwind as well, because you don't act... It's not until the end of the first act.
The first 25 minutes specifically are a remake of Terminator.
Well, you don't get...
Terminator 2.
Until the end of that first act, you don't get a chance to actually sit down, breathe, and have the characters actually tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stop for that first 25 minutes. It's like, oh, okay, we're just moving. Okay, all right, we're going. We're doing it as we go along.
There isn't so much of a ticking time bomb, like ticking clock element like the first Terminator, where it's which one is going to get to her first, Kyle Reese or the T-800.
Yeah.
In this one, it is both of the things that are out to find her arrive at the exact same moment on the same damn day.
Yeah.
And she has either got to put her trust in this complete stranger, or she has got to risk her life and probably die.
And let's talk about those two strangers. So we've got Mackenzie Davis as Grace.
She is so good in this.
She's so good.
I fucking loved her. She was brilliant. Grace is an augmented human.
Yep.
Who is our Kyle Reese.
Yeah.
For this piece.
XP.
Grace has been sent back to protect Danny, and because Danny's role within unfolding events is important. Sound familiar, everybody? Of course it does. Grace is augmented, so she's not a machine, but she comes from a future where you have to obviously be calculated and cold to deal with stuff. She gets to skirt that line of like playing somebody who's let go of everything, but is also more human than she lets on, and has to deal with that.
She's still human at heart, haha, But she's got, she's got like subdermal armor, enhanced strength.
Yeah, which is a nice touch. It works really well.
Like built-in heads-up display, and also a really cool character design moment where you see her in the light properly, and you realise that she's got this intricate network
really
of scars.
Yeah,
where she's clearly had all this work done, and it's.
We also get the
Rev 9.
The Rev 9. That's it. Apparently named after Revelations chapter 9 or whatever in the Bible, which is basically about the end of the world and
fair,
like death coming to us all. So it's like, oh, that's cool.
This is our new Terminator, played by Diego Luna,
who is so good.
Just
what's his name from the second one? Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick, yeah.
He's Robert Patrick good, and also has the Robert Patrick run. There's 2 shots in it where he is pelting it, he's doing the arms, and I'm like, oh, that is such a great performance choice.
What is neat about the Diego Luna Terminator is we actually get to see an infiltration unit be an infiltration unit.
Yeah,
it's actually way better than any of the other Terminators at interacting with people.
Robert Patrick's gave us a version of that before, but this one is like, this guy does not start swinging his bladed arms around unless it's the moment, and then it's right, all out, gonna do it. Did we get it wrong? No. Slink away, hide, infiltrate again, and it works really well. There's one aspect of it that they introduced that then they never showed us in the movie, and I was really sad about that.
Are we gonna get to that in spoilers?
Yeah.
Okay.
They suggest it being something really cool, then they never show it, and I was like, don't throw up Chekhov's gun and then never fire it.
Okay, we'll get to that.
But he's great, and he is he's an endoskeleton with a liquid metal exterior. So, like the T-1000, he can slop and grow appendages and things like that. But unlike the T-1000, he's not like... The T-1000 is like overpowered compared to this version of liquid, but it leads to some really interesting visual stuff.
Yeah, the liquid metal covering as you see in the trailer, it can become its own sort of autonomous unit.
Yeah.
Apart from the endoskeleton, which leads to
like the endoskeleton sort of like the endoskeleton, it sort of implies the endoskeleton has to survive.
Yeah.
Like that's the core of this thing. But they can be separate. It's like if a Terminator had a symbiote.
Yeah.
And it works really well.
And it works with the design because you see the design of the endoskeleton. It's got that massive divot in its head.
Yeah.
You can see where it stores all this extra mass.
Yeah.
When it's combined. It's really neat.
And he's brilliant. Like just little things like the sort of his slight accent changes when he's dealing with different authority figures.
Yeah.
It's like just when he's dealing with the cops and he's just asking him about I was praying for this, that, and the other, and it's like he adopts a slight southern kind of voice when he's talking to them.
He adapts his personality so quickly.
Yeah.
To who he's trying to deal with and what he's trying to do, rather than just in like we've seen in previous Terminator films of these supposed infiltration units just murdering their way to the objective.
Yeah.
It's not always the best way to get what you want, but yeah.
Like it's cold in the first one, it's scary in the second one.
Yeah.
In this, they're like, we've done that. We just need him to be intimidating, and the best way to do that is to creep into people's lives and blend in.
Yes.
And he does excellently with that. And of course, because of the manner of the Terminator that he is, it means that you can essentially do a lot of really interesting gore without ever actually doing gore. Yeah. Which was really cool.
We get to do some fun stuff.
Linda
Hamilton.
Arnie will talk about in spoilers.
Yes.
Because Arnie is in the movie, as you probably noticed from the trailers and the posters and everything.
And I don't think
is he playing a character from a previous movie? No.
Yeah.
But you've obviously seen versions of these characters before. Like, he's not, he's never played the same Terminator. Ever, as far as I'm aware.
No.
Because Genesis is he has played the same one, as in, like, he's reprised the role of, like, the original one twice, digitally in Salvation.
Yeah.
And then...
also digitally in this.
Digitally in Genesis, but that was reusing scenes from the other one.
It was a body double with his face.
Yes.
Which they use the same body double for this.
Deep fake. Yes. Yes. But we'll go into him later. But Linda Hamilton, God, it's good to see her again.
Returning as a very jaded, very cynical Sarah Connor.
Bringing that Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween 2018 big dick energy.
Oh, she's so
to
good.
The part. All hail older action stars being older female action stars leading up these tentpole blockbusters. And
she's just so sour and cranky and.
I would not be surprised if off the back of this, being sort of the second of this kind,
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we suddenly got an announcement that there's an Alien film coming out with Sigourney Weaver in it. I would not be surprised.
I don't know. I think Ridley Scott's killed off that Blomkamp project.
Well, true.
But I wouldn't surprise.
When did we last hear any news of the Covenant follow-up?
Oh, fucking hell, yeah. I would hope. I would like that. I would like that.
And I'd be fucking daring. Make it Ripley 8. Keep the continuity. I double fucking dare you.
That's a fucking bold move right there.
True, but then the original Ripley gets to die nobly, as she always did.
Listen, it did not work for Aliens versus Predator versus Terminator.
Oh yeah, because that never happened.
But
even Ash versus Freddy versus Jason got a comic book adaptation. So...
Oh no, Alien versus Predator versus Terminator happened.
Did it happen?
It's a comic book. It's a comic book.
Is Ripley in it?
It's Ripley 8. It's a sequel to Alien Resurrection.
Has there been Terminator versus Robocop?
Twice. 2 different versions.
Fucking hell. Well, speaking of 2 different versions, I think we do need to get into spoiler territory to talk more about stuff. Linda Hamilton is great. What's really good about this movie is that it is a movie about how no one is perfect. No one is what they are apparently meant to be. No one person can make a difference. Like, the moral of this film seems to be that if humanity, in this case displayed by this group, actually fucking work together, they might achieve something.
Yeah.
But if they don't, they are screwed. No character in this is without flaws. Our 3, but 4, as we'll go into spoilers, protagonists are all nowhere near as well equipped as at least 2 of them believe to be for this situation, and it's only in working together did they actually get shit done. And that was kind of nice. It sort of felt like this film had a message and an arc that they all shared.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
It's almost like it's a message that,
if we
women
don't
are
work
strong
together,
and important that people don't seem to like.
If we don't work together, it will be a dark fate.
Oh!
Anyone who has a trouble with this movie being about 3 strong female leads? Seriously, look at your fucking life. Seriously.
Come on.
These people are like, oh, they've cooked the Terminator. I'm sorry. Have you seen any previous movie in this franchise?
Have you seen The Terminator?
The movie where the perm-haired softy waitress character kills the unstoppable robot in the end because that's her freaking arc in the film.
And I quote, "You're terminated, fucker."
Oh, what's that in the second movie? We catch up to her and she spent the last 50 years becoming a bodybuilding, muscle-bound badass. Like, have you seen these movies? I couldn't help but notice that the first wind I got of this was you posting your spoiler-free review on the Big Damn Channel on YouTube. Plug.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
And when you did, while you're there, give us thumbs up and like and subscribe and all that stuff. Seriously, it helps the algorithm. Do it now.
Do it now.
You got a load of thumbs down on first viewing. Like, within the first hour of that video going up, and I was like, why? What the hell have you said? So I, rewatched your review, and I was like, you don't say anything remotely controversial. And then a comment came through saying, the Cookinator.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, that's the sort of crowd we're dealing with here.
Oh, they don't like the fact that the film has got the women in it.
So stupid.
It's like, what?
It's so stupid.
I don't understand
Out of the 2 previously universally celebrated Terminator movies, neither of them have had a male protagonist who is the sole lead of the film.
Yeah.
Neither of them. Linda Hamilton has been the lead of both Terminator and Terminator 2.
I mean, they've been marketed on Schwarzenegger.
With a co-star, Michael Biehn and Eddie Furlong. And Schwarzenegger is the antagonist / surprise ally.
Surprise protagonist!
In T2. So it's why what films are they doing? Doctor Who's never been political. Have you ever watched it?
People have been coming out and review bombing the new Watchmen series because it's too political.
No, the people who are complaining about the new Watchmen series...
Have you ever read Watchmen?
But guaranteed, you'll also notice casually racist sentiments from the same people.
It's almost as if the people...
A series that is heavily written, directed by, and mostly stars African-American performers.
Angela King, fucking brilliant in this.
I've got no time for these sort of people anymore. It's fucking ridiculous.
I think the great thing about Watchmen is it's got its take that built in to the people who hate it for being socially conscious in the 7th Cavalry. People who don't like the show don't realise that they are the people the 7th Cavalry is mocking.
Yeah.
They just... What?
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Terminator Salvation. Terminator Salvation, Terminator Dark Fate.
No.
Terminator Dark Fate. Let's get into spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. If you want emails, scribble ahead later, folks. But I just recommend going to see the film. It's a genre movie out in the period before the Christmas stuff starts to creep in over November. You've probably only got about another 2 weeks to see it. See it.
It's a good Terminator sequel,
It's
and I don't mean in the way that I like Terminator 3, but it isn't very good. I mean, this is actually good.
Talk to the hand.
I like Terminator 3. It's not good. It's not good, but I like it.
The ending is great.
Yes,
the ending is depressing as fuck.
The ending is good. But yeah, so they don't waste any fucking time in this, do they?
No.
They fucking kill John Connor straight away.
That was my one big problem with the story, because I felt like that could have been revealed to us later in the narrative.
I guess.
Considering Sarah was a character that our main characters meet and encounter for the first time during their journey, I would have preferred to have found out later. Because I think that would have been more of a shock, like, oh god, yeah, I never once thought, where's John during the marketing? Like, oh my god. So that was a bit of a shame for me. I just thought it was a bit too sudden, especially because it happened, and then we didn't see Sarah again for another 25-30 minutes.
For me, I think they wanted to frame it as I think they wanted to get the
Dark Future still happened.
Yeah, I think they wanted to get the connection.
Judgment Day was not avoided; it was just delayed.
Yeah, and now it's not Skynet anymore; it's now Legion.
That was the thing that led to me not enjoying that as much, because I was like, wait. So because there's a scene where this was the script was weak. There was a scene where they just almost flat out be like, "What's Skynet? It's called Legion. It's this," and it's like, it
does kind of make sense though, because
it does, but it just sort of sucked that the idea was like, this thing never happened, but this thing happened anyway.
Yeah,
and it created relatively similar creatures and beings, and used a similar method to, and it's like,
But I think it gets into the idea of certain things just being inevitable, like the circumstances of them you can change.
I mean, I think I would have bought it more if Legion was born out of the ashes of Skynet.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you know what I mean? Like, just a suggestion that you killed it, but you didn't kill the seed. That seed was still planted.
I think that is the implication.
Yeah.
They don't go into it, but
especially because the Rev 9's endoskeletons look like a lightweight T-800.
It's like, there's no matter what you do, you'll always get a version of Skynet. This comes up in, I've been reading the Jonathan Hickman House of X, Powers of X.
Yeah.
And he gets into the idea that no matter what mutants do, there will always be Sentinels. Yeah. Sentinels, artificial intelligence, will always emerge at a certain point in human history.
Be it governmental, be it a radical, like, someone's
just
going to
happen. You can't. You can change the hows and whys of it, but it is always going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're kind of going for with this. It's interesting that both James Cameron and the dude who did the Sarah Connor Chronicles TV show have credits on this. Have story credits.
Yes. Which again I like, because with the dawning of this movie, Sarah Connor Chronicles doesn't exist anymore either.
No.
Like, that is out of continuity now.
Which, people, I mean, Keeks really likes
Sarah
it.
Connor Chronicles was set pre-T2, right?
No, except post-T2.
Post-T2.
But,
is John in it?
John is in it.
Oh, yeah.
But they jump forward in time.
Mm-hmm.
So they get, the Resistance sends tech back to post-T2.
Mm-hmm. So
Sarah and John can jump from, like, 99... to, like, the mid-2000s.
Okay.
Just
in an attempt to sort of, like, here's a 5-year blackout period where you guys weren't here, so anything they send back is going to come up empty and not kill you.
But also, like, here is... Now we don't have to make everything look 6 years older than it actually is.
Makes sense.
Now we don't have to do all the 1999 period stuff in this mid-2000s.
Some McGlow made for a pretty decent Terminator as well.
It's the whole thing of Cameron... There's some cool stuff with Chromater, who's the first Terminator they come across, who's got, like, has the gun in his leg, and he gets his skin blasted off and has to regrow his skin and all that cool stuff.
Okay.
But anyway,
so in this year, we begin with a flashback to 1998. So it's the year after when Judgment Day was meant to happen.
And I think
Sarah and John are, like, in Tallulah or something? Guatemala.
I think T2 takes place in 94?
Yes.
So this is like 4 years after T2.
I don't know, actually, because
See,
John
I
looks
don't know.
super young still.
John looks almost the same as he does in...
Eddie Furlong's involvement, as we talked about before, they confirmed that he was involved in the movie, and now we know what it was. It was reference. It was referencing. So he will have probably done photo referencing, acted out the motions so that they could kind of use that as a point of reference for the young actor who stands in for him with, of course,
digital face
replacement.
Which is the same thing they do for Arnie with the same body double they use for Genesis.
Yeah, and Linda Hamilton gets digital face replacement on an actor as well who was a stunt double for this movie.
Yes,
I
think so.
And
again, it's T2 era Linda Hamilton.
And a different actor provides John's voice.
Yeah.
But it sounds like him. The
he doesn't
two
say
lines
very
you
much,
hear,
so...
it's like, oh, that sounds like him. This CGI was... It looked good, but the whole sequence looked like a video game cutscene. Like, it looked like an amazing Xbox One cutscene.
Well, it had sort of a dreamlike quality to it.
It did.
Which I feel is, like, intentional because it's supposed to be a memory.
It's one of those where I feel like if they had a bit more money... Because this was a low-budget film as well.
Oh, yeah.
If it had a bit more money, they could have polished that so it was perfect. But it wasn't quite there because then it jumps to present day.
Yeah.
And the actual sort of... Just the stock, as it were, of how everything looked suddenly looked clearer. And it was like, oh, okay. The Terminator looks really good in that flashback. That looks like late 90s Arnie.
Yeah.
And I love the idea as well.
And it's just so brutal.
They prevented Judgment Day, but that future timeline still existed at that point at least.
Yeah.
Like, that future still exists in some way, because they never go into the idea of timelines veering off in this series. But the notion is that timeline still exists, either because it's delayed, Judgment Day is delayed, or because it hasn't disappeared from existence yet, or it's its own timeline. They don't go into it, but they essentially imply that just because Judgment Day was delayed doesn't mean the Skynet forces weren't going to still attempt.
Yeah, they just kept
to
sending
stop, because of course, like, John, regardless of whether or not Skynet is delayed or stopped, John is still going to be leading the human resistance.
Yeah.
So we take John out, and our logic dictates that's fine. So a Terminator rocks up to this beach and just shotgun blasts John Connor in the chest. You see a child get shot in the chest.
Just fucking unloads into this kid.
And then double taps his torso, like gives him another one, doesn't he?
And then just fucking walks off.
That's the thing, he just drops the gun, leaves.
You notice that's the shotgun Sarah has later, when she first turns up.
Yes. He just does it and leaves, because that was his objective.
And then you later find out that Sarah, in the intervening years, has been killing Terminators.
Yeah, like first she wanted answers, and she was doing it on her own back as best she could.
Yeah.
And then one day she started getting, so presumably at least 10 years after those events.
Yeah.
Well, could have been like 5-6 years after those events. She started getting texts. And these texts would just give her coordinates, a date, a time, and would say, for John.
Yeah.
And she showed up to her first one, and a Terminator arrives to do whatever shit that Terminator's there to do.
Yeah.
Because again, they don't go into that, but the implication is Skynet is
trying
to secure its... Although it turns out she might not have been fighting necessarily Skynet Terminators.
Yeah, at some point it would have been Legion Terminators.
She might have been fighting Legion ones.
Or maybe even there was something else in between as the timeline kept changing.
So they kept sending people back to do stuff and prevent things, and Sarah has... I think they imply she's been successful in every single one of them.
Yeah.
She's been killing these Terminators, and then like a year later, 2 years later, she gets another text. She goes to that place, a Terminator arrives, she kills it.
Yeah.
She's the hint that her developed technique is the kill box scenario.
Yeah.
Like, she gets to the place, she rigs it ready, and then she kills the shit out of Terminator.
Yeah.
She's, of course, on the most wanted list. She's on the lam.
She's wanted in a couple of states. Look, all 50.
She keeps her cell phone in an empty bag of potato chips.
Because she likes potato chips.
Yeah, and because apparently the foil will block it out. Which is a great line later, the whole, like, if you want to keep your phone in a bag of potato chips, keep it in the bag of potato chips.
Yeah.
Because, of course, she can be tracked every time she takes it out. She hasn't really thought about that. But the police haven't been after her, which is decent. We learn over the course of the movie that she survived because she's ended up getting military connections, that she's either bribing or has convinced, like, no, what I'm doing is important.
Yeah.
You need to keep people off my back.
That also goes back to pre-T2, because that was what John remembers of his time with her before she was institutionalised, is that she would move from partner to partner.
Yeah.
Each one being like ex-military or whatever, and learning whatever she could from them, and then moving on. So she's
she's a gold star fucker.
Yes. The implication is that she's just sort of worked her way through all these military folks who have on various levels of the chain of command. So she does have some allies in high places, as we later see.
And booty calls to take advantage of.
Apparently. And booty calls.
Although at this point it's probably more a case of like, I'll tell everyone you have a little dick unless you get me this thing. Oh, god damn it, okay.
Coming from this, growly Sarah Connor, you fucking believe it. She's like the fucking weight of what she's gone through. Like Linda Hamilton wears it so well.
God, yeah. Because Linda Hamilton has a very striking look. Like, especially back, I think T2,
yeah,
that is probably the most fanciable action star of that decade. Mm-hmm. But like, she's got a very distinct look, and the way she has naturally aged, she's kind of weathered. She's got a lot more wrinkles and this, that, and the other, and they don't shy from that. They fucking go double down. It's
they weather even more with the short crop grey hair.
So they go for the crop grey. They obviously go for minimal makeup for the movie, so that they really kind of just show the idea of this woman has lived a fucking life.
Yeah.
And in real life, Linda Hamilton has been through some shit in the last couple of decades, and they use that. Like, she unashamedly is like, yep, boom, this is what I'm going to bring to the character. It definitely feels like the same woman we met in T2.
Yeah.
But one whose mission, which was clear, difficult but clear, has been ripped away from her, and more importantly, so has her goddamn son.
Yeah, and she's lost that purpose. And you get that great
scene.
There's
that wonderful moment, where she sat on the thing and she's like, I don't have any photographs of him. Like, I somehow convinced myself when I was younger and when he was a kid that if we didn't have photographs of him, the machines would never learn what he looked like, because they'd never be able to find records and go back. And now I'm starting to forget his face.
That's horrifying.
It's horrible. And she's got, like, she's shaded up at that point, so like she's completely covering. She's not, they're not letting you see anything, but you feel it. You feel the weight of how much that is. Because again, it's that sort of implication based on how old Sarah Connor would be, because this film's set in 2020.
Yeah.
It's like, she's probably not doing very well up there in a way. She's also advancing in age.
Yeah.
Like, this is horrifying. Like, her life was ripped from her. She's used that as a catalyst to do everything she's done since. Because essentially what she's doing is, how to put it? She climbed, like, obviously not this simple or victorious. She climbed Everest at 18. She peaked, tish.
Hey.
What's left? Well, she's gonna fucking tell people stories about Everest. Or in this case, she saved humanity, and then everything got taken from her. So what's she gonna do? She's gonna just fucking shoot robots whenever they show up.
Yeah.
Not because she's not doing it because she's like, I'm gonna help save the world. She's like, no, fuck it.
She doesn't know how to do anything else.
A robot killed my son.
Yeah.
That is all I'm good at. So I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep killing him. I'm gonna keep killing robots. And
then you find out where those technologies have been coming from.
Yes. Because she manages to figure out. No, that's it. Grace gets hold of the phone, which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
She's like, she cracks open. She's like, "Would you know who the text from?" It's like, "No, it's an encrypted number, no caller ID." I never find out. She takes Sarah's phone, cracks the back open, which I thought was brilliant because obviously it's just necessity.
Yeah.
But it made me laugh because it's like, you can't just open a fucking phone anymore. So quickest way to do it: crack the back open, take the SIM card out, do this, that, and the other. And she's like, "What are you doing?" She just went, "Future shit."
That's a great line.
It's like, yes.
Great fucking line.
Because the audience definitely know. It's like, she's going to do something. Like, there's no need to explain it.
This is what this movie gets right over the other sequels are so concerned with the mechanics of what's happening and what the new plot is and what the new plan is, and it's not important.
No.
What's important is how the characters respond to the situation. That's what this film gets right, with the stuff like Sarah Connor reflecting on how life has changed since her son died. With we could have some technobabble thing, and people no, just future shit. Future shit.
Grace triangulates where the signal is, gets the coordinates, and lo and behold, those coordinates are tattooed on her stomach.
Yeah.
And now this is where I was like, that's a bit unclear. She's been told that if it goes to shit, that's where she needs to go for backup.
Yeah.
And they're the same coordinates, which I'm like, who told her that? But now, obviously, by the end of the movie, it's like, well, Danny did.
Yeah.
Danny put that there to make sure that they got to that location.
Because the whole twist you get with Danny is she's not...
We never see it, but it's implied that the general...
The commander.
That she saved the commander is Danny.
Yeah, because we get that future war flash
They never
forward.
confirm it, but it's like it's a lady clearly from one shot.
Yeah,
she's heavily bandaged. She's fucked up, and Grace is doing everything she can to save her.
Yeah, and that's when she volunteers for the Augment program.
So it's like that is clever. So there's some John Connor level stuff with Danny of like she knows how the past goes, but just in case things can go differently, she's going to put this here and this here and this here so that those things happen.
And it's the case that so everyone's expecting Danny to be
the
new Sarah because she's a woman, but it's not about who she is.
Danny's the leader of the resistance.
Danny is the new John. She is. So, but the idea is that and then the idea goes forward that every time a successor to Skynet pops up, a successor to John will pop up.
There will always be someone or several people
Yeah.
who will manage to rally people together.
Yeah.
And it's because of their experience. Ironically, in all cases, T2 and this, it's because of, and Team Terminator 1,
Yeah.
it's because of their assassination attempts made on their life that they are prepared to actually lead.
So Skynet and then Legion.
Skynet seal their own doom.
Its own, it creates its own nemesis.
So we'll get to the coordinates in a moment. I just want to talk about Danny. She's great.
She's so good.
She is so good, and that's where I said there was a smoking gun that they didn't pull the trigger. There was a Chekhov's gun they didn't actually fire. So the Rev 9 goes to see her father.
Yeah.
And then her father, scare quotes, comes to the factory to find her and her brother.
Yeah.
And when Grace shoots her dad down, and it starts to obviously transform back into its normal form, she makes a point of like, your father's dead, and when they're driving away, your father's dead. She's like, that's like, she's like, I need to go back to see him, and she says he's not there, he's dead. It's like he's never gonna get. I think that's the first time she says he's not gonna get a proper burial or reference it. And she's like, no, honestly, there won't be enough left. They have to make contact to do that, implying that to look exactly like someone. This isn't like the T-1000 where it can just look like someone. The implication here is they don't have that technology yet for it to just flawlessly look like another person.
Yeah.
So it has to kind of take some of their DNA or something to kind of get it right.
Yeah, yeah.
So
the biological element.
And she's saying it doesn't leave enough behind. So it implies that it does something fucked up to people to shapeshift into them.
Yeah.
We're in Body Snatchers territory of, oh no, it just flat out replaces you. It sucks that we never saw that used again at any point.
I imagine that was just a effects thing. They probably had an idea to do it.
Yeah.
Because you get that scene later on where he is disguised as the
It mimics someone's voice. He uses someone's voice.
But you get that scene later on where he's disguised the female drone pilot.
Yes, yeah.
You don't see him change.
Yeah.
It's only after he
That's
breaks
a shame.
cover.
It's one gore element I would have liked to have seen.
I would be interested to know if there's a deleted scene where he takes over that drone pilot.
Yeah.
But that's still a great reveal, though. The fact that when he's revealed to be disguised as the female drone pilot, he's already done that. So you don't need... That adds a bit of tension. It's like, okay, well, now we're in a situation where this film isn't afraid to show us after the fact that he's infiltrated somewhere. We don't have to see the sort of mechanics of how he gets there, which is, again, it's more interesting than the minutiae of the mechanics that fucking like Genesis goes through of the, okay, well, we're going to go to this point in the past and then we're going to go forward to this point in the future, and then now this happens and now we have to go forward to this point in the future, and that matches up with this thing from fuck off. Just tell a story. Tell a story.
The use of present day technology actually makes the original movie even more impressive.
Yeah.
Because the basic premise is, one day, technology gets advanced enough that it's like, we don't need you. Or in this case, it's more an implication that Legion doesn't want to destroy humanity. Legion thinks destroying humanity is what's best for the Earth.
Yeah, it's a common theme in sci-fi that deals with artificial
like
intelligence.
Skynet does seem a little more malevolent, whereas Legion seems a bit more like, no, this is logical.
Yeah,
like,
that's the common theme that crops up in a lot of sci-fi that deals with artificial intelligence, robot wars, etc. Is that at some point the artificial intelligence...
Not robot wars, unfortunately.
Wars against robots. The idea that the AI will eventually go, oh, well, this Earth's better with no humans in it.
Yeah.
How do I save the human race? Just kill them all.
Yeah.
Can't kill themselves then.
But like the first movie obviously has that as its setup.
Yeah.
And automation plays a part in the first movie to a degree. I mean, the Terminator itself is killed in a factory.
Yeah.
One of the tensest, creepiest things ever is the upper half of its corpse crawling after the skeleton crawling after Sarah Connor in the machine as it's like getting tighter, and it's like, oh my god. This film retroactively makes that even more impressive, and also reinforces how we haven't really heeded the lesson of that original movie.
Nope. As
Diego. Was it
Danny's brother?
Yeah, Danny's brother is replaced at the factory by a new robot arm.
Yep.
And he's going to get fired that day. He just shows up to work and it's replaced him. The use of phones, the fact that Sarah Connor chucks Danny's phone out the window is just like they can track you on these things. The way that the Rev 9 uses CCTV,
just plugs itself into a data
piece
center
together where they could be.
Really cool.
The drone during the bit getting across the Mexican border.
And then of course he notifies the authorities.
Yeah.
Because then if he doesn't get them on the way there, get them on the way there, and then that just gives him a better shot.
Yeah.
When he does get
it's so good. It's so good.
It's clever
and upsetting because you're like, oh yeah, we are relying an awful lot on technology, aren't we?
Which is the kind of sci-fi holding up a mirror to society. That's what he was at his best, even when it is filled with explosions and such. But let's talk about Carl.
Let's talk about Carl. Carl is...
Fucking love this.
Carl is the T-800 that killed John Connor. So it's the one that... Because again, through her dialogue in those scenes, it's implied that a few more T-800s...
Yeah.
Post T2...
Skynet kept sending Terminators.
Yeah, specifically the T-800 model, maybe because they thought they'd be confused or disarmed, maybe because the T-1000 was a one-off.
Yeah.
I
Prototype.
just
got the sense that was the base Terminator model, so they just kept sending those.
Carl is the T-800 that killed John Connor, shot him, and then dropped the gun and walked off because it completed its directive.
And then it had nothing to do, nowhere to go.
Yeah, so it goes back. It goes to the States, and I think he says that he once reported back that it had happened. He was disconnected because that's it. You're done. There's no point bringing that T-800 back. Let's just leave it.
I think he was automatically as soon as the mission was complete, then that's it. He's just freed from his programming.
Yeah,
and there you go.
It's so it doesn't develop a conscience. It doesn't break from its programming per se. It's just a T-800 had never been left after a mission that wasn't then immediately reassigned or recycled or whatever. So it had time. And it had time to think about what it had done and logically process what it had done. And he keeps reinforcing the idea of he didn't develop a conscience, but he developed something close to how a conscience works and processes information.
The artificial intelligence equivalent of a conscience.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't
develop a conscience.
He doesn't feel bad for killing John Connor, but he understands the trauma it would have brought to Sarah.
Yeah.
And understands that trauma is a bad thing to do to someone and is not desirable, nor is it appreciated.
Well, he understands
and as a result, he's I almost feel like the original directive was not worth it because of what it has done to you.
Yeah.
So it's the closest he can process to a conscience and regret.
And also having now gained a family of his own.
Yeah.
In a wife and adopted son.
Which is, again, it's wonderful because they sort of cover the bases with it, not in an expository way.
Yeah.
And this was one of the bits where they did some exposition that didn't feel a little clunky, because some of the exposition in the film felt a bit clunky. This didn't. And they sort of imply that his partner is a victim of an incredibly abusive relationship.
Well, they outright state that. He saved her from an abusive relationship.
But as a result, what she was looking for in a partner was not a physical romantic relationship.
Yeah, so she
was looking for someone just to look after her and take care of her and remind her of her worth and look after her son as a result. Because Grace, either Grace or Sarah say so she doesn't know.
Oh, it's Sarah.
She doesn't, when you getting
she doesn't notice that you weighed 400. You weigh 400
she doesn't
pounds.
know. Yeah, she's not noticed that the naked man lying on top of us weighs 400 pounds. And he's it is not a physical relationship.
Yeah,
which is also kind of, it makes it more bearable, makes it more believable when he sends her off and stuff, and it's like she doesn't know he's a robot, but she knows he's different. And at some point when they first got together, he made it clear that something he has done may one day come back.
Yeah.
And regardless of what's happening in their life, he will have to go.
But in the meantime, he does drapes.
Yes! So the Terminator, the T-800 in particular, has been played for comedy a lot since the second movie.
Yeah.
He's played for comedy in some places in the second movie, more so in the stuff that got put back in the extended cut.
Almost, but all in service of building the relationship between him and John.
Yeah, which works really well in that movie.
Which is why I prefer the extended cut to the theatrical.
The third movie plays on it a little too
The third movie is almost a comedy in places.
Yeah, I mean, he's wearing a stripper's outfit for the entirety of the third movie.
The third movie is almost a parody of Terminator.
Yeah. And then, you know, that's kind of been the people always reference, like, it works so well in the context of the movie, of T2, but everyone always references Hasta la Vista, baby, and things like that, and it's like, yeah, but that's not Terminator, that's this story, and it works really well in this, and it defines this film, and these things are important moments, and they're brilliant. Like, in context they're great, and out of context they're kind of amusing, and this and the other. But like, the Terminator isn't a joke per se. This movie does, you can get humour from it though without belittling the machine, and this movie does that really well. The humour that comes from the Rev 9 situations are all kind of darkly comedic, which is good.
Come from his infiltrating and reaction, like his discussions with the border guards and such.
Yeah, like he's still a threat.
Yeah.
Same way Robert Patrick in T2, all of his humorous moments are just darkly like, things like that, like the mirroring of the guard, or the bit where the person's got the blade through their mouth and he's mimicking the voice. Like, it's darkly comedic. Oh, shouldn't laugh, that's horrible kind of things. The Rev 9's kind of like that. Arnie does get to do a couple of comedic moments, but they derive from not a place of the character being silly.
Yeah.
Like, to kill time whilst they're waiting for the military contact to show up, he's explaining, because Danny's clearly just asked him how he's run a drapes business.
Because she doesn't have any malice towards him like Sarah does. She's
been really conversational with him. Like, Grace doesn't hate him, but she's aware that he's similar to the antagonists from her timelines, so she's a bit cautious. And Sarah just absolutely despises him.
She tries to kill him on sight.
Understandable reasons.
Yeah. And they have that sort of bitterness which turns to a sort of grudging respect by the end of the film.
Yeah.
As you know it's gonna, because that's how these things work, but it's done well.
But like, he's just talking about how, like, people, adults especially, make stupid decisions in regards to drapes in a children's room.
It's like, no.
Wanted the salmon colour. And I said, no. Little girl. There was a little girl's room. Polka dots. Butterflies. It's like...
It's so deadly serious. But it's like, but it doesn't, like you say...
I'll be honest, if that guy came to fit curtains in my house, and I was like, I'm thinking some of this, and he was like, no. And he told me that, I was like, yeah, sure, whatever you want to go for, man.
Because
whatever you want to go for.
Because it is so... Like,
6'5", like, giant Austrian fella.
The comedy comes from it...
Pokemon patent went out 4 years ago. Your child will be a laughing stock.
Like I said, the comedy comes from
the Paw Patrol
juxtaposition of this guy, like, talking about drapes in this very... while he's tooled up with fucking weaponry.
Yeah. Oh, God.
and also when they go into his gun shed.
Bodyguard. I do drapes. What? And also earlier on, like,
everyone knows
like,
Carl of Carl's Draperies.
When he talks about the logistical reasons why, like, this relationship has worked out, it's like, because I'm caring, I look after her and her needs, I take care of her son, I'm a good listener, and also I am very funny. And you go like, what? But then later on, he does make a couple of statements where you're like, holy shit, it's figured out how humour works. It's picked the wrong moments.
Yeah.
But, like, not for us, the audience. This is funny shit.
But it's, you know, it's just, you get a sense of, oh yeah, again, like you do with the Rev 9. Oh yeah, this is an infiltration unit.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's not as crude as the infiltration unit we met in the first movie that just walks around and kills anyone with the name Sarah Connor in the phone book.
It's had the best part of 30 years to adapt and assimilate. I think it's a really smart decision and a really smart direction to go with that character.
It's good, because they're not saying it learns to grow feelings. They're saying it learns to empathise in a way where it's had time to assess the situation, and because it has spent so much time around people in this environment where the only humans are not the ones they have to kill on a battlefield, it's learnt more about humans.
But at that point,
and what people are actually like.
The interesting point about that is at that point you're just arguing semantics over whether he has feelings or not.
Yeah, well,
because
it's the whole discussion
to every
of,
effect,
does it have a soul? It's that whole kind of discussion.
To every effect, it did grow a conscience. It does have feelings.
It seems to feel sad at the notion of no longer seeing his partner and his stepson ever again.
Because of course it does pay for its quote unquote sins, its past sins, with its life.
Yeah,
with his life, and it, sacrifices himself to make sure the Rev 9 stays down.
So, a few years after the death of John Connor, it felt bad.
Yeah,
and began
to atone,
to figure out. It began to it figured out exactly what giveaway signs there were. I think it's 2 weeks ahead of each arrival of a Terminator.
You can sense the chronal displacement.
Yeah, so he would send the thing to Sarah Connor to give her life purpose because he had taken her purpose away from her. It's
good.
Oh my god! So he's her guardian angel and her worst nightmare at the same time.
And he's also got a shed full of cunts because it's Texas.
Oh my god!
it's a really smart use of Arnie and a really smart use of that concept
and a really restrained use of the classic Terminator as well. He doesn't rock up until the hour 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
And then he's with you for the remaining hour of the film.
And fucking puts in a performance as well.
It can't be helped, obviously, because marketing is what marketing is. But I would have loved to have had no clue that he was in this. Imagine that. Imagine if they'd got that far.
You couldn't have done it.
But it's keeping in tradition with the Terminator franchise, really, because the trailers gave away that the Terminator was a good guy in T2.
Yeah.
Even though in the movie that is completely played as an absolute twist at the end of the first act. So, yeah, whatevs.
Yeah, it's no good. It's no good. But
he's really good once again, and it's nice because you can see the robotic framework for his performance.
Yeah.
But this Terminator has learned, so it does things differently. It makes more casual gestures from time to time. He sits a certain way. He leans a certain way. They rock up and he frickin' prepares Corona, complete with slices of lime. It just all these little things. Be like, why is a Terminator doing that? It's because he's observed people.
Because he
lives
a human life.
This is what he's doing.
That's what he does now.
That's what he does. And everything he does is a calculated move, but it's there to put people at ease because he wants to blend in.
That's an idea that comes from the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yeah.
Of a cover Terminator, of a Terminator in deep cover.
Yeah.
That acts human.
Let's talk about the action set pieces. Fight in the Factory is the first big one.
Fucking hell.
Great. The highway chase, I think, might have been my favourite.
It just doesn't stop. As soon as Diego Luna turns up, it just goes.
They drive out. Grace rigs the truck. They're out of there, and then that freaking heavy thing just smashes through the wall and chases after him. In a moment very reminiscent of T2 and T3.
Yes,
kind of the two highway chases in that movie, those movies.
But again, straight away, you're hitting those beats early.
Yeah.
And you're going, okay, this is the classic Terminator stuff, and then you just go in a completely different direction. And you make it its own thing.
Do you know why I think this one works as well? Between that stuff, there is a lot of reflection. Yeah. Which hasn't really been present in any of them after the second.
It's like I say, you don't really get time until after that first... That sort of, the chase sort of is the climax of the first act.
Yeah.
And you don't really get time until that's done for the character to sit down. Everyone finds out who everyone is, find out about Sarah, find out about what Grace's deal is, why she's after done it. But that's when you take that moment to sort of let the first act breathe, and you've kind of gotten most of the Terminator beats that people expect out of the way by then.
Yeah.
So now you can actually focus on, okay, well, these are the characters we've got, and this is the direction that we're taking this story in, and it's going to work because we're actually going to go with this and not try and do Terminator again. Mm-hmm. And then it doesn't sort of pick up action-wise again until you get to the border
Yes.
facility.
Yeah, which is where suddenly it's like, oh shit, which then gets reminiscent of T2 a bit once they're in the cage
Well, you've got
areas and stuff. You're
you've
like,
got
oh,
the
this is
tension
all
then
like...
of the fact that the
Yeah.
heroes have not got any of the weapons,
Mm.
and they're vulnerable and isolated, and this guy's just gonna fucking walk in and murder him.
Yeah.
And then that's where that tension comes from in that
visual
scene.
nods to 2, because at that point he's in a military
Yeah,
/ security uniform, and yeah, it's where it never feels gratuitous.
No.
Although there's one gag I wish this franchise would drop, which is we have to put "I'll be back" somewhere in the movie. I'm like, I wish they'd drop that.
But
I
again,
really do.
it's first act stuff that they just get out of the way.
It works when, I know it sounds weird, it works when Sarah Connor says it in the first act.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't do it like a "I'll be back." She's like, "I'll be back." And you're sort of like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, because she's going to make sure that the liquid Terminator is finished off.
It made me go, oh, a little bit when Carl went, "Because I won't be back." And it sort of lingered in a way where it was like, hey? It's like, it's strange the way we're headed, because I don't want to go. So,
but also...
He's always saying that. No, he's not.
I really hope that if we get another sequel to this, and I would like to see another Terminator off the back of this,
specifically with Danny and Sarah in it.
Have any
T-800s? Yeah, same.
No Arnie.
Agreed.
Because then that line will feel right.
Yes.
Because I feel like that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
It's not just that it's it's a cute callback, it's this character moment.
But also
Arnie's not gonna do this anymore.
It gets annoying as well when, like, in every movie we have to find a way to put Arnie back in it.
Yeah.
But isn't he in all of them? Well, no, it's a different character in every film.
Yeah.
It's like, don't have him in it. And that way, he can be in a Terminator trilogy where he comes out of it looking like the MVP.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Because
when he joins, by the time he joins the story in this, it doesn't feel like an add-on. It's like, oh, that was the piece that was missing.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like, everything was great, but there's just something that didn't feel right. And now Carl's in it. Oh my god.
And does bring that team
right.
together.
Yeah.
And it's they really start to operate as a unit. And then, of course, it leads to where you are at the end with Sarah training the future leader of the Resistance again.
Yeah.
Only this time it's not her son, it's Danny.
She has purpose.
Yeah.
Again. And it's like, holy shit.
Now that a road movie of Sarah and Danny fucking shit up.
That final shot made me laugh as well, though. Like, so they go to see young Grace, they sort of watch from afar, and then they go off. Because of course, the twist with Grace is Grace already knows Danny, because Danny saved Grace at a younger age. In the post
after
Judgment Day
after
world.
Judgment Day, Danny saves Grace and starts to bring together the Resistance, and that's so Grace knows future Danny personally.
Yeah.
She's sort of a mother figure for her.
But that final shot where they drive off, I got the point of it. The final shot is they drive away, and it's a shot of a neighborhood, and it's a crane shot, so it's just raising up, and it's this idyllic, like, green, lush, sunny day, like, kids playing, families talking on the sidewalk. It's like, it's that juxtaposition of this battered fucking old Jeep, and them going off,
that's
knowing
the
what they
nod
know
to
and what is
Terminator 1.
coming. Yeah, whilst that's happening. But also the way the shot was framed and just the colour of the street and everything. I was waiting for the DeLorean.
Yeah,
I was waiting for the Jeep.
Very Back to the
I was waiting for the Jeep to turn around and fly.
I thought exactly the same thing. I thought exactly the same thing. It's like roads where we're going. We don't need roads. But I think on the whole, for its flaws, and it's not a perfect movie by any means, but this is just a really strong sequel to
Do you know what it is now? When the Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and Terminator Dark Fate as a trilogy, it's the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It's not the dizzying heights of the previous entry.
No.
But it's definitely a worthy part of the story. It has its own shit that is completely its own and adds to everything, and is a satisfying conclusion to that trilogy.
Which is exactly what none of the other Terminator movie sequels have been. They haven't been satisfying.
Yeah, Terminator 3...
They've been the cinematic equivalent of empty calories.
For all the things that work in number 3, the bleak ending, which is one of its strengths, is a really crap place to leave the trilogy, almost. Yeah.
Which they try and sort of come out of with Terminator Salvation, but the problem with Terminator Salvation is they took a great concept and made one of the most boring sci-fi action films ever made. It's just fucking Dullsville. It's so dull.
Genesis essentially is a nostalgia fest, trying to rely on your love of the first two films.
But, this differs from Genesis in that this actually makes sense and is a coherent story.
Yeah.
Whereas Genesis is just all
when
over
was
the
Genesis?
place.
2017.
2016.
What a thought that in 3 years the franchise has been scrapped and rebooted, and well.
And but this is a movie that I think could only happen because everyone has seen everything that's gone wrong. And again, one of the people involved is the man's name I can't remember who created Sarah Connor Chronicles, which is
one of the few well received.
Yeah, of those sequel projects, it's the most well regarded, I think, probably. Josh Friedman.
Yeah.
Josh Friedman is.
I actually remembered how freaking convoluted. Genesis, the T-1000 in Genesis.
Yeah.
That's meant to be the same T-1000 as Robert Patrick's.
Yes.
But it's a different actor.
Yes.
As is the case with all of the characters.
Yes.
Yet they go
Apart from Arnie.
Yet they go to great lengths to make sure Arnie is the T-800.
Yeah.
What's the point? Genesis would have made, I'm going to say it now, Genesis would have made an amazing video game in the style of, like, The Thing or the Evil Dead sequels that were video games.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just like, here's what might have happened next, and you get to play it.
Yeah.
You get to live moments you love from the first two.
Yeah.
Like, Genesis would have been a great video game, but it's a terrible movie as it stands.
Whereas Dark Fate...
And is yet another example of the growing filmography of, you've put Matt Smith in it, and that's it?
Yeah.
That's all you've done with it?
Yeah.
Looks like that's going to be happening again with episode 9. Matt Smith is in it.
But where?
So someone thinks they've identified him. There's this alien thing with like a blue face and a
okay.
bit of a trunk and this mask. And one of the shots from like the merch and stuff, his eyes and his like brow. It's like, is that Matt Smith?
Wouldn't you love it if they get his kidney bean face in it and then just had Barry under a mask? I love
His
it.
beautiful kidney bean
Oh
face.
yeah, no doubt. But
That is a beautiful eyebrowless kidney bean face.
yeah. But yeah, fucking Dark Fate. It's good. Who'd have thunk it?
I'm
so
so glad.
I was shocked coming out of the cinema.
You went in with hopeful expectations.
and I was
came
like,
out delighted.
and
I went in with low expectations and came out very pleased.
Halfway through, I think it was around.
I think it's a really good, solid 3-star action sci-fi.
Oh
movie.
yeah. But it's
tickling into the
towards
4-star
4
realm.
stars, yeah.
Tickling into
But
it.
I think
when you put it up against the absolute 4-star Terminator,
halfway
and
through,
absolute 5-star T2
in the cinema, I leaned over Keith and said, "No, I don't want to jinx this, but I think this might be good."
This might be a badass action film.
And then she was like,
with a Terminator in the title.
"Yeah, it's good."
What?
But yeah, I mean,
not a single lighting operative was bollocked by a twatty actor.
fucking, I'm just so glad.
Isn't it weird that that's Salvation's legacy?
Oh,
Good for you!
good for you! Fuck off, Christian Bale.
Although
Fuck off.
that being said, I do want to see Le Mans 66.
Le Mans 66 does look
It's
good.
pretty great. It looks very by the numbers biopic.
Yeah.
In terms of like,
But I
this
do
is
wish-
essentially a giant jerk off session for Ford.
Christian Bale's one of those people, like, people idolise him as this great fucking actor, and then you actually, like, look into what he does in the films and what he does on set and stuff, and it's like, oh, he's just a fucking wanker. It's like, I'm getting more of that vibe with Joaquin Phoenix as well since the stuff has come out about Joker.
Yeah.
And how he's been in the past with other movies. I'm like, oh, he's just a fucking wanker. Oh, but he's such a great actor and we love to work with him. Yeah, but he's a cunt. So what? So why? In this bit, we're told...
The best way to work with Joaquin Phoenix would be to have him on your film for a couple days for a pivotal character in a scene, so you can enjoy him, use that brilliant talent, and then call it a day. And then you can say, I mean, you can do some of the press if you want. It's up to you. Like, it's up to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, in and out. That being said, he's very good in Her.
He's very good in Her. He's very good in a lot of things. As is Christian Bale, but there's no Jared Leto. Very good in a lot of things.
He's really good in Dallas Buyers Club.
No excuse for being
Although now on reflection, I'm like, I mean, it could have actually been a transactor, but
no excuse for being a piece of shit, Jared.
No.
Even if you have got an Oscar.
He keeps digging his grave at the minute. Have you noticed?
Well, yeah, that whole
endless headlines about Joker. Endless
whole
headlines.
thing was like, oh, Jared
He's
Leto.
not in Birds of Prey.
No.
They shot stuff for it, and apparently he's not in it.
Look, there's all this stories about Jared Leto was upset about Joker. It's like, who gives a fuck? Fuck Jared Leto.
Do you know what you do, Jared? If you're really upset about it, you work with the teams making the other films that would feature your Joker, and you fucking get it right. So that people see you in the next one and go, actually, do you know what? He was really good in that one. Like, that's what you do. You don't bitch and whine about the spin-off movie that doesn't have your version of the character in it.
Go back on tour with your shit band, you pretentious wanker.
Anyway, emails. Speaking of,
I don't think we've got any emails, have we? I think the only email we got was Charlie's. Yeah, it was Charlie's headline giving, "The Game of Thrones prequel series is dead. Long live the Game of Thrones prequel series."
Let me double check to see if we got any tweets at the expense of Darkface.
Might be the best email we've ever received.
It's pretty on point. Yeah, so I asked about Dark Fate if anyone had seen it by the time we're recording, and we only had one tweet about it so far, which
Fact date.
Sean Lindsay. And Sean Lindsay says, so they can end the franchise on a good note and leave it at that, right? Right? Smiley face.
I would not be surprised if we got another one.
I wouldn't be upset.
If this does well.
wouldn't be upset if we got another one, but similarly, if this is it for that franchise,
yeah,
cool. Like,
but
cool note to
I
end
think,
on.
and I said this in the video review. I think this Force Awakens the Terminator, in that it moves it away from what it's been so rooted in.
It does what Salvation tried to do.
Yeah.
And just didn't do very well.
It actually manages to move the series forward in a meaningful way, so you can have a continuation that makes sense, which isn't anchored to all the baggage from the original movies. But it does it in a much quicker way than Force Awakens and Last Jedi did. Yeah. Because they're still sort of doing that. It's going to be at the end of Episode 9 where you're like, okay, we've got this whole Star Wars canvas to play with, divorced from all the old stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas that does this. You've still got the Sarah Connor connection through line, and you're going to have her lineage through her training Danny. But you could come back to Terminator in 10 years and make a sequel to this.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about, not having. I hope she's not dead in 10 years, but not having Linda Hamilton around because she'll have been retired or whatever. You can do that.
Yeah.
But also now you've established that Skynet can become Legion, and John Connor can be replaced by Danny Ramos.
Yeah.
You can just tell a completely unconnected story. It's like, okay, well, this is this. They managed to hold it off for this long, and it's become legend now that we have to keep beating back this bad future. And different people will emerge at different points in history to help beat this bad future back. And that big bad will always...
I think what you do is you do one where time travel isn't a factor at all. Because Salvation nearly did that.
Yeah.
And then in the third act, they're like, we're going to bring some time travel elements into it. And, like, we're going to... The time travel here, and, like, Kyle Reese is going to learn about this and this, that, and the other. And it's just like... Shout out to Anton Yelchin, actually.
Yeah.
He was pretty good in
Anton
that.
Yelchin was great in everything he was in.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Gone
too soon. Guy was a fucking serious talent.
Join the 27 club. But it's that would be, for me, that would be the thing that would make me go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, let's see the eve of Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily the story of the day before it happening, but like let's see what Dani has done to prepare herself and as many people as she can for Judgment Day.
Yeah. No Terminators coming back, just like, okay, they've been keeping an eye on the development of Legion. It's like, okay, this is the moment. This is when things go. This is when things go.
Tell a story where they manage to expose to the world what could happen, and it, like, the paranoia begins to spread.
Interesting.
Let's see the world try to, like, regress technologically on purpose in a world where something burrowed somewhere is developing itself to replace humanity.
It's funny you should mention humanity regressing itself technologically out of paranoia, because that's one of the themes in the Watchmen series from HBO.
Gag.
Anyway.
All ties together.
Neatly in a bow.
In a way. What did you think of Terminator Dark Fate, aka Terminator 3, 4, or 3, 5 if you count T2-3D?
I'm going to go with Terminator Cubed.
Tubed.
It's 3-3.
Tubed.
Terminator Rise of the Machines.
Tubes.
Rise of the Machines.
Terminator Jobs.
Genesis.
It's Terminator Jobs.
Dark Fate. Terminator Cubed.
Fair enough.
Terminator 3-3.
We want to know. BigDamnContact@gmail.com. You can also tweet us at BigDamnCast.
Yes.
If you aren't listening to this on your headphones, you can.
Then how are you listening to this?
You can listen to it on your SoundCloud. You can listen to it on Spotify.
What?
And iTunes.
iTunes?
But if you happen to be a video person, you're listening to it in a tab, you will already be on the Big Damn channel on YouTube. If you are, please give this video a thumbs up, a favourite, subscribe, comment. Any interaction can really help the channel, but you can help us directly in all of our future video and audio content in the easiest way possible by contributing to the Patreon. Patreon.com/BigDamnCast for as little as $1 a month. One measly dollar.
Whoa!
You can join the Discord and financially support the show. The higher the tier you pay for per month, or even if you just want to do it as a one-off payment for 1 month and take advantage of it for 1 month, go for it.
Why not?
Every little helps. And if you can't financially support us, because I know we've got quite a lot of young listeners, hey, that's cool.
Hey.
We appreciate it. But you know what you can do instead? If you can't give us some shekels, spread the word. Let people know about the show.
Give us some schmeckles.
Let people give us some schmeckles.
Like we're gonna go down for a whole afternoon at Blips and Chips.
Do you know I've not played in 2 years? Pocket Mortys. I wonder if it'll still be anywhere near entertaining. Anyway, we'll see you next week for Knives Out or Summer. What is out? Oh, fuck.
I don't know. We'll work it out.
Me out the closet. We'll see
Hey!
you. Bye!